just a little over 3 miles. I get home, I kick back, I lay down for a few minutes, and then I figured I just watch a little TV and rest. I thought I did a good exercise, and I did a video of it, but damn cell phone of mine I had then died, and I lost all my videos. I mean, 28 videos in 28 days of me walking almost every day. Kind of sad I lost that, but that's how it goes. Anyway, you want to hear some more horror stories with doctors? Okay, I got operated in March 21. So a little while after March, I'm still not feeling good. About 10 days, first 10 days, I felt great. I thought, man, I'm going to live forever now. 10th day, sharp pain started coming. Oh, I mean, so much sharp pain. Couldn't stand it. So I go to the doctor and said, hey, I was almost out of the pain medicine they gave me. He said, well, we can't give you no more. You gotta get off of it. You're gonna get addicted. I said, okay. He said, well, why am I hurting so bad? Oh, they say, oh, that's normal. You sure? I said, I've been walking 3 miles every day. One day or a couple days, I walked 7 or 8 miles. They looked at me and said, you really did that? I said, yeah, I got it on video. Anyway, I said, okay, well, you're okay. You'll live 25 years. They gave me a cup of coffee and sent me on my way. So they gave me another doctor to see, a neurologist. I guess that's what you call it. Cardiologist. Neurologist. That's for my brain, I think. I ain't got no brains. Anyway, I went to see him, and I told him I wasn't feeling good. And he said, okay, we'll do a stress test. And it's been like about 2 months. March, April, about May. So we did the stress test at the end of May. And they said they'll call me if there's anything bad happening. So I did the test, I guess, 1st of June. It's not the end of May, 1st June, somewhere in there. So I got my doctor's appointment in July the 5th. So I go to the doctor's office, which he's right across the street from the hospital. So I go in there, and they say, you don't look so good. I said, what's wrong with you? I said, well, I don't feel good. I've been telling you all that. So we did that stress test. So they come back and says, doctor says, send you to the hospital right now. I said, what? Yeah, you got to go to the hospital right now. Okay, so they put me in a wheelchair and wheeled me across the street, go to the hospital, 6 hours. They did all these tests, and then they got my the stress test. They read the stress test. They said, oh, your stress test is good, your heart is good. I said, are you sure? Oh, you're good to go. And the head doctor in the emergency room says, you're good to go. I checked, everything's good. I said, okay, I don't really feel good. I said, well, I done missed my ride, so I'm going to have to walk. And that was about 3 miles from the hospital to my house. So you sure I can make it? You sure I'm really good? Oh, yeah, you're good to go. I said, okay. So I start my walk home. And in Seattle, it's kind of hilly in places. Up a hill, down a hill. Coming from the hospital, I was going uphill. So I'm walking, and man, my breath is like, ugh. So, okay, I'm just being a sissy, you know, got to be tough, no pain, no gain. So I fight through it. I get there. Oh, I forgot to tell you. When I left the hospital, the doctor's office was just closing. So I went up there and said, look, can I still see the cardiologist soon? He said, yeah, he's got an appointment open tomorrow. I said, okay, I'll come back tomorrow. So anyway, back to my walk. I'm almost to my place, and I'm struggling. And then finally it levels off where I'm not going uphill anymore. So then I just ease my time. I make it back to where I'm staying. So I just stop. I lay on the bed and I'm exhausted. I'm beat. So I rest, take a shower, and just watch TV and just say, okay, it's just in my head, I'll be okay. So then I go to the doctor again. the next day. This time, I get to see the doctor. He reads my stress test. He says, "Oh my God, you need to go to the hospital right now." I said, "Why?" He said, "You got 95% blockage." I said, "What?" The doctor said that I was okay. I was good to go. My heart was no blockages, no nothing. She read it wrong. She said, "You just read the first page. Second page says, you got 95% blockage." So I'm sitting there, and I had cooked some food before I left my house. I said, "Well, Doc, I cooked food because y'all told me I was all right yesterday. So I'm not going to go to the hospital today and die and leave food in my house, so when they come to evict me, they're going to say, this old man left food in here rotten." He says, "You're crazy if you go home." I said, "Well, I'm going home anyway." So again, I walked 3 miles. And I said, screw it. They didn't care about me the day before. I'm not going to worry about it. I get there, I put my food up, and by then I said, I can't walk back, so I had to take a taxi. So I got in the taxi and got there, and it wasn't too bad. At least the taxi driver was kind of cool. He brought me to the hospital. So I go in there and they check me in. Said, "Oh, we're going to put a stent in you first thing in the morning. So can't eat nothing after midnight." I said, "Okay." Next morning, they said around 7. I said, "Okay, I'm a diabetic, so I ain't eat nothing. My mouth was dry. They gave me my insulin, so I was kind of shaky." So I'm complaining. I said, "Hey, I need something to drink." "Oh, you can't have nothing to drink." I said, "Well, you said you're going to operate early." "Well, the doctor had emergency surgeries to do." I said, "Okay, well, y'all misread my stress test yesterday, and I should be in emergency too, I would think, because I could have died on my way home yesterday." And so they didn't pay no attention to me. So anyway, finally about 4 o'clock, I'm begging them for something to drink. So they give me some apple juice. Don't ever drink apple juice before surgery. I'll tell you that part later. So anyway, they go bring me in there. They do the stand in, and I come out. The next few hours, the doctor comes in there. He's got a picture of it. He said, "That doctor sewed you up too tight. You should have said, you should have let me done your operation." I said, "Well, I didn't really have a choice. She's the one that gave me, and I didn't ask for credentials." So he showed me the picture, and he said, "It's her fault." So I said, "Okay." But when I woke up, I had the hiccups. 3 straight days of hiccups. The only thing I could figure was the apple juice. I was ready to die. After the first day, I called the hospital. I was crying. I said, "I can't stop the hiccups." They said, "Oh, that could be a sign of a heart attack." I said, "Well, then I'm having a heart attack, man." They said, "Oh, come back to the hospital." I said, "I ain't going back to the hospital. Y'all ain't helped me yet since I've been there." I said, "Y'all sewed me up too tight, and I had to go back and get a stent. I'm supposed to live 25 years without a stent." And I got proof of this. I got the letter proving that they misread the stress test. And they said they caught it. They didn't catch anything. That was the biggest BS line ever. That's why I said, if you got a complaint about the hospital, you don't go to their administration and make a complaint, because they change every bit of your words. Anyway, I went back and wrote it. And they did put it closer to my words. But I do have a copy of the letter. If anybody wants to see it, I will post it. Or email it to you. Very interesting. And what is more interesting is, I could have sued them. But, you know, a doctor's pretty well protected. I was sick for the whole year. I never got better after that. I was pain, never really recovered after they put the stent in, like they said I would. I contacted a lawyer, and they read my the letter that they gave me. And you know what they said? "You waited about a week too late. You only have 1 year to sue the doctor in the hospital." He said, "It's a 1 year and 1 week." And he says, you can't just sue them. You got to file a complaint to the government, and then the government's got to decide if the case is worth suing the doctor. So the doctors are protected all the way around. So no wonder they helped them with this COVID crap. They had the inside track all the way around. So anyway, that's my story. My rice is almost cooked. I'm about to show you my final product. And if you want more tips on how to cook rice, then I'm the man to see. Anyway, if you want to see more, I'll do more. This is my perfect rice. Let's take a little taste test out of it while we're here. And I saw her face. I'm a believer, I couldn't leave her if I tried. Ooh, I won't spill it everywhere. Looks pretty flaky to me. It's done. Alright, it's too hot to take out. You gotta let it sit 5 minutes after you cook it. So, I can either talk 5 minutes and show you, or I can end this video. What do you think? Myself, I could keep talking. But I'm sure you're bored by now hearing my story. But if not, leave a comment. If you ever had any trouble with the doctors, I can tell you more horror stories. During this whole time I was having had heart bypass, I'll just tell you another story real quickly. I was getting my insulin from this doctor, and this is my third time to see this doctor, and he's been giving me insulin for 3 months. Third month, he gives me insulin. No, I didn't check it. This time I got it to give it to me for 3 months. So I had a bunch of it, 3 months supply. I didn't know I could get it for 3 months, but they told me I could get it for 3 months. So anyway, I put it in the refrigerator. I don't know, a week or so later, my sugar was going up and down, up and down. I'm like, what the hell's going on? One minute I take my shot, my sugar go down. I eat something, and then it go up. And I eat something, and go down. I'm like, what the hell's going on? So anyway, I'm thinking I'm going crazy. So I get my insulin out, and I start to look at it, and I had the Humalog. Humalog has 2 brands. I didn't know that. There's one for mealtime. That's the one I'm supposed to be taking. And then there's one long-lasting. Guess what? He wrote a prescription for the long-lasting. And it's not his first time to write my prescription. So how did he make that mistake? So I complained about that. And you know what they did? They wrote me another prescription. Now, pharmacy gave me more medicine. They said they're going to pay for it, but they never did. And you know what their response was? They said they couldn't see me anymore because I was a problem. They didn't, because I went to their office.